Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for a bench press day. And today I decided, instead of going up heavier, I decided to drop back down to 315, see how many reps I could get. I tried to pause them, but I do realize looking at the footage, I think I had a touch and go rep in there. Definitely one of them was a touch and go, but the last couple I paused them nice and well. Took a good pause on the very last one. Managed to get 7 reps. So we're definitely in PR territory again there. Because I got 5 reps. Last time I tried 315, then I went up to 335 and got 5, but I felt like I had left a rep or so in the tank before. This went pretty good. I don't know that I had a rep in reserve. That last rep moved slow. Had I gone for an 8th rep, I feel like I probably would have missed it. Pretty good chance, at least 50% chance I would have missed it. Not certain. So what I decided to do after that, since that went well, rep strength is going up, I decided that for my supplemental work, I would do 275, right? Did 2 sets of 8. These were real close to failure after the fatigue I created with that 315. But, when you factor in that it wasn't that long ago, I was doing 10s of 245 and was down to 8 by the 3rd set to get 2 sets of 275 for 8. I'm pretty happy with it. And that's what I'm doing. I'm keep dropping the volume down a little because I've been finding it works well for me. I recover better, just focus on really good quality sets. And it's interesting that big meta-analysis just dropped this week. We just had a meta-analysis drop this week on reps in reserve, training to failure, all this stuff. And again, I've always said, though, that failure itself is not beneficial, right? Stopping a rep short of failure really does seem to be the most hypertrophic response on a set-per-set basis. But again, it's got to be varied. It can be very, very difficult to judge. And I think that's the problem they ultimately run into in all these studies. It's hard to judge unless you're a very experienced lifter who is good at judging where failure is. I'm pretty good at judging that. Right? I'm pretty good at judging that. Usually for me, if there's doubt, if I can get the next rep, when I do go for it, I tend to miss it. We've seen me do it before. That's, so I'm personally a pretty good judge of that. But I'm going pretty heavy on all this stuff. Again, I bumped the weight the other day on those rows and still replicated that. Got my 10 reps. These sets were challenging. I felt like I left about 1 rep in reserve on these 275s. But considering that, that one all-out set will tend to fatigue us, it sounds about right. Fresh, I'm sure I could get 10s on it, right? But I'm not fresh. We've done that other work first. But again, all these supplemental lifts, I'm trying to get 2 good quality sets in. Except the arm work today, I was so fatigued by the time I got to it and I went heavier, they got difficult, right? And I'll discuss that when I get over to it. But these rows went well. Again, I'm going to keep progressing on that because I almost feel like I've got a couple reps, possibly a couple reps left on those. But they're also paused at the bottom. So in theory, longer pauses, we could possibly grind out more reps, but it's not always what we want. Incline bench, when I did these, I realized my work capacity is a little hit from that 315. So I'm like, let's just go for overall strength and quality set. So I did the one ramp up here. I like to do on the incline. I like to do. I'm finding I get the best results if I have one good set to kind of get in my groove, and then take a set real close to the limit, to where I almost struggle to lock it out. So today I decided, let's go ahead and do that. And I'm like, I don't want to go for that high reps on it now. I feel like, again, my work capacity got a little fatigued from that benching. So let's just see how strong we are. So I loaded up 245, which I have not tried to do reps with in many years. By many, let's call it 20 years, right? I've only repped 225 so far. But I felt strong on that. I just felt the work capacity was a little lower. So the strength was definitely there. So I'm like, let's do it. And it went well. I managed to get 6 reps. I got 6 reps, locked it. Do I think I have a 7th rep 50-50? But again, if we're going to talk about taking sets over to quality, if we have doubts that we could get another rep, that's fair to call that 0 reps in reserve. Because we're questioning it, going, I don't know if I could have done another. instead of, I could definitely have done another. But it was a good pause on it. It went up nice and clean. I might have been able to get another rep. We'll call it 50-50. But I'll take that. That's a quality set. I got 10s with this weight on the dumbbell rows today. So even though I kept it static on the other one, I did 8s with this the last couple times. I did 10s today. Got 10 reps on all sets, both arms. So again, we're seeing progress here. That will carry over to my deadlifts. Also, again, all the upper back from the rowing. It's helpful on my bench because for me, that's what I'm finding on the bench. It's all about that eccentric control on the opening rep. That's what affects what I can do on my heavy sets. Right? That's what seems to affect it. Can I touch in the right spot? And that requires upper back to control that eccentric. All right, because the Skullcrushers went so well last time, I'm like, let me just go ahead and go to a full plate today. I was able to do these, but they were almost too heavy. They really were. I feel like the form was compromised a hair, and then my elbow really I started to feel it in the elbow. Now, I don't feel it now, but after the set I did, I'm like, I'm going to call it there. That's that one set. My triceps got a lot of work, though. So this is, again, if you notice, I feel like as I get into the set, the form is not only compromised, but the left elbow tendon didn't like it a lot. Didn't like it. So I called it there. I'll drop it back down next time and we'll build back up. But I've been PRing on that, so I'm like, let's see what we can do. And I feel like I overshot, right? I need to take it back down about 10 pounds. Cheat rows was almost the same thing because when I went to the 55s on each side, I managed to get 12 on 2 sets. Right, I got 12, so I'm like, well, let me go up another 10. Felt like it was almost too heavy. I want to be able to get up to, doing 2 plates on these, but it needs to be a hair cleaner than that. And it needs to look like what it does with just the one red on each side. So because the tendons felt a little fatigued, I went ahead and just did a couple sets of band press downs instead of continuing to do Skullcrushers. So next time we'll take the weight back down on both of those lifts to what we did last time for those last 2 lifts. Continue to work with that weight because we PR'd on a lot of stuff today. So by the time I got to that supplemental work, it was too heavy to really PR. So again, check my ego, reel it back in, finish up with some band work. So I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.